Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to study about the drugs affecting calcium homeostasis. That means we are going to study about the substances which will maintain the calcium level in the. Okay, first of all, we have to know the normal levels of calcium. Then only we can study about the drugs that maintain that calcium level. Now, coming to the substances, before going to the substances, we have to do the normal. The normal level of calcium level is 9 to 11 mg per deciliter. This one is the normal level of calcium, and calcium is the important inorganic substance which is present in our body. After carbon dioxide, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen, this one is the fifth important element which is present in our body. And this calcium, more than 90% is stored in the bones and teeth. The rest is distributed to the plasma and tissues. Okay, 90% of calcium is stored in the bone and teeth, and the rest is distributed to plasma and tissues. Coming to the normal levels, the normal level of calcium is 9 to 11 mg per deciliter. Now, this calcium in our body will be present in three forms. One is ionized, and another is protein bound, and other is ionized with the anions or complexed to anions. Okay, calcium is present in ionized form, protein bound form, and complex to anions. Ionized form which has got some charge, that is here for calcium it is positive charge is present on it, that is it is Ca2 plus. Okay, calcium is present in ionized form which is 50%, and this 50% ionized calcium will regulate or will help in maintaining the biological actions or physiological actions. And next, 40% of the calcium will be bound to the protein, that is albumin. Okay, 40% of calcium will be bound to the albumin, and 10% of calcium will bound to the phosphates and citrates. This is how calcium will present in our body. That is ionized 50%, protein bound 40%, and 10% is ionized to the anions like phosphate and citrate. Anion means which has got negative charge. Calcium has got positive charge. Okay, now regulation of plasma calcium. How this normal level, that is 9 to 11 mg per deciliter, is maintained is because of these hormones. Okay, calcium homeostasis is maintained because of these three hormones mainly. Now, what is going to happen if calcium levels are increased more than 11 mg per deciliter? Okay, what is going to happen? It causes stimulation, or it will stimulate the calcium sensitive receptors, and this will produce the hormone, that is calcitonin. Calcitonin is produced from the parafollicular cells, which are also called as C cells from the thyroid gland. Okay, these cells will secrete the calcitonin hormone. Now, this calcitonin hormone will act on the bone and will act on the kidney. What it will do on the bone, it causes or it stimulates the calcium deposition in the bone. Now, what we are speaking about the when the calcium levels are increased. What is going to happen? Then it will produce the calcitonin hormone from the parafollicular cells of thyroid gland. Now, this calcitonin will act on the bone. What it will do? It will stimulate the calcium deposition in the bones. Okay, what calcitonin do again on the kidney? It will reduce the calcium uptake in the. Okay, now because of these two actions, what is going to happen? Blood calcium levels will be declined. Whenever calcium levels are increased, this parafollicular cells will produce the calcitonin. Calcitonin will act on the bone and kidney. What to reduce the blood calcium levels and maintain the normal level, that is 9 to 11 mg per deciliter. Now, what is going to happen if calcium levels are decreased below 9 mg per deciliter? This acts as a stimulus and it will stimulate the calcium sensitive receptors which are present in the parathyroid gland. Okay, in the parathyroid gland, chief cells are the cells which will secrete the parathyroid hormone. This parathyroid hormone again acts on the bone, again acts on the kidney. What it will do on the bone? It will stimulate the calcium release. Calcitonin, what is causing? It is causing deposition. Whereas parathyroid hormone, opposite. That is, it will stimulate the calcium release from the bone. Now, parathyroid hormone also acts on the kidney. What it will do? It will stimulate the calcium uptake in the kidney. Instead of excreting calcium, it will reabsorb calcium from the kidney to the systemic circulation. Apart from that, this parathyroid hormone will stimulate the production of vitamin D. And what is the action of vitamin D? Vitamin D, apart from these two actions, it helps in increasing absorption of calcium from the intestine. Whatever the calcium we take through the food, this absorption will be increased by active form of vitamin. Okay, this is how parathyroid hormone will again restore the normal calcium levels. Okay, upper image, whatever the image, first half of the image, it will show how the calcium levels are brought back to normal levels when the calcium levels are increased. How? By calcitonin. Now, lower part or second half of the image, it will tell you a story how it is going to restore the normal calcium levels when calcium levels are decreased in the blood. Okay, what is going to happen when calcium levels are decreased? It will start producing the parathyroid hormone. This parathyroid hormone will act on the kidney, it will act on the bone, and it will produce the active form of vitamin D, which again increases the absorption of calcium from the intestine. Thereby, parathyroid hormone and vitamin D will maintain the normal calcium levels. So these are the three hormones which will maintain the normal calcium level of 9 to 11 mg per deciliter. Now, we'll see about the first hormone, that is parathyroid hormone. Now, it is a protein. Parathyroid hormone is a protein which is a polypeptide with 84 amino acid and its molecular weight is 9,000. This parathyroid hormone is released from the chief cells which are present in the parathyroid gland. Now, how it will release the parathyroid hormone means these chief cells contain calcium sensitive sensing receptors. Okay, now whenever the calcium sensing receptors notice decrease in plasma calcium level, then it causes a release of parathyroid hormone. Now, whenever the calcium levels are more than 11 mg per deciliter, these calcium sensitive receptors will show negative feedback mechanism, thereby inhibits the parathyroid hormone. What you have to remember, chief cells has got a specific type of receptor, and that receptors are called as calcium sensing receptor. What is the function of calcium sensing receptor? Calcium sensing receptor will help in release of parathyroid hormone when plasma calcium levels are decreased, and it also inhibits the release of parathyroid hormone when when the plasma calcium levels are increased. Okay, and this parathyroid hormone is rapidly degraded in kidney and liver. Now, next slide is actions of parathyroid hormone. As we know that parathyroid hormone is produced from the parathyroid gland. From the parathyroid gland, which type of cells? From the chief cells, parathyroid hormone will be produced. And this parathyroid hormone will act on the bone, and on the bone what it will do? Will increase the resorption of calcium from bones. How it is going to do? It is increasing the number of bone remodeling units, and it causes activation of osteoclast. What is this osteoclast? It's a protein which mobilizes calcium from the bone to systemic circulation. Okay. Thereby, parathyroid hormone on the bone, it will increase the sorry, it will increase the resorption of calcium from bones. Next one is on kidney. On kidney, what it will do? It will increase the calcium reabsorption in digital tubules, thereby helps in increasing the calcium levels in plasma. Okay, next one. This one is indirect action. What it will do? This parathyroid hormone helps in synthesizing the active form of vitamin D. Now, what this vitamin D will do? It will increase the absorption of calcium from the intestine. Okay, how it is going to do? We are going to learn in the next slides. For here, you have to remember the actions of parathyroid hormone on the bone, on the kidney, or on the intestine, which is a indirect action. Okay. Now, how it acts on the bone, we are going to study in the next slide. Now, this parathyroid hormone has got a parathyroid hormone receptor on which organ? On osteoblast. Okay, if you go back to the previous slide, I'll show you again. If you go back to the previous slide, what I have said here? This will activate the osteoclast. Okay, parathyroid hormone activates the osteoclast. Again, we'll go back to the next slide. Where the receptor is present? The receptor for the parathyroid hormone is present on the osteoblast. Okay, parathyroid hormone will come and bind to the parathyroid hormone receptor, which is present on the osteoblast, which is a G protein coupled receptor, and it causes activation of parathyroid hormone receptor, thereby increases the cyclic AMP levels in the osteoblast. By increasing the cyclic AMP, it will increases the calcium levels in the target cell. Now, whenever this molecular mechanism of action happens, it generates the RANKL, which is an abbreviation of receptor for activation of nuclear factor kappa B ligand. Okay, this ligand will be generated on osteoblast. Now, what is going to happen? This ligand will be released and it will come and bind to the RANK receptor, which is present on the osteoblast precursor. Remember, it is a precursor. That means it's not an active protein. This has to be converted into active substance. That is, this inactive osteoclast should be converted into active osteoclast. Whenever this RANKL, that is ligand, come and bind to the RANK receptor, it helps in conversion of osteoblast precursor into osteoclast. Now, this osteoclast, how it will mobilize the calcium means it will secrete the acids and it will secrete the proteolytic enzymes. Osteoclast will secrete the acid and proteolytic enzymes, thereby it causes resorption of bone, thereby it helps in mobilization of calcium from the bone. This is how parathyroid hormone causes activation of osteoclast. Now, we'll go back to the first step again, osteoblast. This osteoblast, we have seen that it will produce the RANKL ligand. Apart from this, it also produces one more protein called as osteoproteogenin. What is this protein means? What is the action of this protein means? This protein will helps in regulating the RANK ligand. Whenever the calcium levels are restored, this OPG will regulate the actions of RANKL, thereby inhibits the conversion of osteoclast precursor to osteoblast. Okay, now osteoblast helps in activation of osteoclast precursor to osteoclast by producing either RNKL or by producing the OPG. Okay, osteoblast has ability to produce two compounds which help in either activation or inhibition of osteoclast. Clear? Now, we'll go to the next slide. Hypoparathyroidism. What is going to happen if parathyroid hormone levels are decreased or production is decreased or production is increased? Hyperparathyroidism. Hypoparathyroidism manifestations are low calcium levels will be present, thereby it causes tetany, convulsions, laryngospasm, paresthesias, cataract, and psychiatric changes. These are the things which we are going to note in hypoparathyroidism. These are the features which we are going to observe in hypoparathyroidism. The next condition is hyperparathyroidism, and this one is due to excess production of parathyroid hormone in due to parathyroid tumor. The manifestations or observations that we are going to note in hyperthyroidism are hypercalcemia, that is increased calcium levels we seen, decalcification of bones, thereby deformities and fractures may occur, and renal stones, as calcium levels are increased, renal stones may happen, muscle weakness, constipation and anorexia are noted with hyperparathyroidism. These are the observations we are going to see in hyper and hypoparathyroidism. Now, coming to the antagonists and analogs of parathyroid hormone. First one is cinacalcet, which will, this one, cinacalcet is a calcium mimic substance. Okay, and where it is used in secondary hyperparathyroidism. This one will mimic the actions of calcium, and it causes activation of calcium sensitive receptor. Where this calcium sensitive receptor is present? It is present on the chief cells of parathyroid gland. What is going to happen if, it shows negative feedback mechanism. What is going to happen if this cinacalcet exhibit negative feedback mechanism? It will inhibit the release of parathyroid hormone secretion. Okay, that is why this cinacalcet is indicated in secondary hyperparathyroidism and in parathyroid tumor. Okay, next one is uses of parathyroid hormone. Usually, the parathyroid hormone analogs are not used much because vitamin D preparations are used more conveniently, as it has what? Same actions like parathyroid hormone. Additionally, it helps in absorption of calcium from the intestine. And next we have a recombinant preparation of parathyroid hormone is there, and it is teriparatide. Teriparatide is a recombinant preparation of parathyroid hormone, and it duplicates the all actions of parathyroid hormone. And this preparation is mainly used in severe osteoporosis. The next one is calcitonin. Now, when calcitonin will be produced? Whenever calcium levels are increased more than 11 mg per deciliter, then calcitonin will be produced. Okay, it's a hypocalcemic hormone discovered by the Coop, and it has what 32 amino acid with molecular weight of 3600, and it is produced by the C cells, which are also called as parafollicular cells of thyroid gland. Physiological effects are opposite of the parathyroid hormone. Whatever the parathyroid hormone do, exact opposite action will be seen with the calcium. Okay, rapid acting short-term regulator of plasma calcium levels. Now, what this calcitonin can do is, this calcitonin can regulate, or it will maintain the normal calcium homeostasis rapidly for short time only. For chronic time, it cannot, for chronic period, it cannot maintain the calcium levels. Now, same calcitonin again acts on bone and kidney, exact opposite action. What it do means, this calcitonin will directly inhibit the osteoclast of bone. What parathyroid hormone will do? It activates osteoclast. Whereas calcitonin, it will inhibit osteoclast. If inhibiting the osteoclast, what is going to happen? It will decrease the bone resorption. Bone resorption is decreased, then plasma calcium and plasma phosphate levels will be decreased. Now, what is the action of calcitonin on the kidney? It will inhibit the reabsorption of calcium and phosphate in the proximal tube. Reabsorption is inhibited. What is going to happen? Calcium and phosphate will be excreted in urine. If calcium and phosphate are excreted in urine, then the plasma calcium levels and phosphate levels will be decreased. This is how calcitonin will help in maintaining the calcium levels whenever the calcium levels are exceeded above 11 mg per deciliter. Now, coming to the preparation of calcitonin, we have Procaine or natural calcitonin preparation is there, and this is antigenic. That means it will stimulate the immune system. Next one is synthetic salmon calcitonin, which is a more potent due to slower metabolism. Synthetic salmon calcitonin is a more potent. Why? It is more potent due to slower metabolism. The next one is synthetic human calcitonin. 1 international unit is equal to 4 micrograms of standard. Calcitonin is given by either subcutaneous route or by intramuscular. And salmon calcitonin is also available as nasal spray. These are the types of preparations that are available and routes of drug administration of these preparations. First one is coming to the uses of calcitonin, where this calcitonin and calcitonin preparations are used means it is used in hypercalcemia states, especially when it is associated with the cancer. Okay, calcitonin preparations are used in hypercalcemia states associated with cancer. Next one is in Paget's disease of bone. Here, Paget's disease is a condition where the bone architecture will be disrupted because of overactivity of osteoclast. Okay. Now, what we have studied in the previous slide, calcitonin will inhibit the osteoclasts. That is why calcitonin is used in Paget's disease. Chronic use of calcitonin will relieve pain and reduce some neurological complications, but bisphosphonates are the treatment of choice. Why? This calcitonin cannot maintain the calcium levels for a longer time. Okay, that is why bisphosphonates are the drug of choice in the treatment of Paget's disease. And apart from these two, this calcitonin preparation is also used in postmenopausal osteoporosis and corticosteroid induced osteoporosis. Okay, in these two conditions also calcitonin preparation is used. Salmon calcitonin is used as a nasal spray along with vitamin D supplements and the dosage of 200 international units. The next substance is vitamin D. Now, which substances will decrease? Which substances will get activated when plasma calcium levels are decreased? Parathyroid hormone and vitamin D. What it will do? It will increase the calcium levels of plasma by acting on parathyroid hormone. Sorry, by acting on the bone, by acting on the kidney, by acting on the intestines. Now, vitamin D, collective name is anti-rickety substance synthesized in the body and found in foods activated by UV radiation. D2, two forms are there, D2 and D3. D2 is calciferol, which is present in irradiated food, that is yeast, fungi, bread, and milk. And next one is D3, which is a cholecalciferol form, which is synthesized in skin under the influence of UV rays. Whatever the UV rays that is present in the sunlight, it causes or it helps in synthesis of D3 form of vitamin D in our body from cholesterol. Okay, now activation of vitamin D. 7 for D3 form on your left side, D3 form, how this D3 is activated means 7-dehydrocholesterol will be converted into cholecalciferol vitamin D3 with the sunlight. With the sunlight or because of UV light present in the sunlight. Now, this cholecalciferol vitamin D3 will be converted into calcifediol by liver microsomes. Okay, now this calcifediol will be converted into kidney, with the help of kidney mitochondria, it will be converted into calcitriol, which is a active form. Okay, this is how D3 vitamin active form of vitamin D3 is synthesized in body. Now coming to the active form of vitamin D, that is D2 form, which is present in the milk, yeast and other substances by yeast and plant products. Ergosterol will be converted into calciferol vitamin D2 by the UV light, and calciferol vitamin D2 will be converted into 25-hydroxy vitamin D2 by liver microsomes. 25-hydroxy vitamin D2 will be converted into 1,25-dihydroxy vitamin D2 with the help of kidney mitochondria. This is how the activation of vitamin D will. Now, same what we have seen in the previous slide. 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is present beneath the skin, will be converted into vitamin D3 or cholecalciferol with the help of cyanide. And with the help of microsomal enzymes, vitamin D3 will be converted into 25 hydroxy vitamin D3, and it will be converted into 1,25 dihydroxy cholecalciferol by kidney mitochondria. This is how vitamin D3 is synthesized in our body. Now, coming to the actions of vitamin D, what it will do means it enhances the absorption of calcium and phosphate from intestine. Now, this vitamin D helps in synthesizing a protein which will increase the absorption of calcium and phosphate from intestine. Next is it also enhances the resorption of calcium and phosphates from food. Similar mechanism of parathyroid. In the previous slide, we have seen that how the parathyroid hormone helps in stimulation of osteoclast. In the same way, vitamin D also enhances the resorption of calcium and phosphate from food. Next one is calcitriol. Calcitriol enhances the tubular resorption of or tubular reabsorption of calcium and phosphates in kidney. Okay, this is how the vitamin D acts in increasing plasma calcium levels. Okay, apart from these three, it helps in cell differentiation, especially collagen and skin. For differentiation of collagen and skin epithelium, vitamin D is required. Okay, for immunity, important for cell-mediated immunity and coordination of immune response. Also, we require vitamin D. Now, in the previous slide, the third point is there. That is, vitamin D enhances the absorption of calcium from the calcium and phosphate from the intestine. How it is going to do is the active form of vitamin D will bind to the vitamin D receptor which is present in the mucosal cells of intestine. Now this vitamin D with vitamin D receptor will enter into the nucleus and acts on the specific segment of DNA. And what it will do? It enhances the transcription and the translation process, thereby increases the production of calcium binding protein. Now this calcium binding protein will come and settle on the brush border or lumen side of mucosal cells, and it will increase the absorption of calcium and phosphate which is present in the intestine. This is how vitamin D enhances the absorption of calcium from the intestine. Okay, remember steroid containing steroid containing substances will mainly act on the DNA. Okay, and can you name the other substances which acts on DNA? In the comment box, write down the hormones or the substances which act on DNA. Okay, this is your assignment. Next one, pharmacokinetics. This vitamin D is well absorbed, especially vitamin D2 form, well absorbed from the intestine in presence of bile salts. Absorption of D3 is a little better than D2 form. In circulation, it bonds to the alpha globulin and stored mainly in adipose tissue for months. Okay, it is hydroxylated in liver to active and inactive compounds. The half-life varies from 1 to 18 days, and 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol has the longest. Now coming to the preparations, we have preparations for vitamin D2 and the vitamin D. Ergocalciferol, which is a vitamin D2 preparation available as oral capsules. Cholecalciferol, which is the preparation of vitamin D3 available as oral preparation as well as for IM administration. Okay, it is available at the dosage of 3 to 6 lakh international units, which is going to administered every 2 to 6 month interval as a prophylactic agent. Next one is calcitriol, which is available as an oral capsule and solution at dosage of 0.25 to 1 micrograms daily or intravenously on. Next one is alpha calcidiol and dihydroacesterol. These are the prodrugs orally effective and rapidly biotransformed into the calcitriol in the liver. They are effective in renal bone diseases and hypoparathyroidism. The previous slide, we have seen that in cases of hypoparathyroidism, we are not going to use the parathyroid hormone preparation. What we are going to use? We are going to use vitamin D preparation. Okay. The next one is calcipotriol, which is a vitamin D analog. This one is used topically for the treatment of psoriasis. Whatever the lesions that are seen in the psoriasis will be treated with, one of the treatment is vitamin D